Today, I'm in the land of the deer, but you'll recognize the Mexican destination by its proper Nahuatl name of Mazatlán. This West Coast port city's past is equal parts fascinating and tumultuous, making it stand out in the annals of history. During the reign of Emperor Tezak in the 1480s, Mazatlán and the surrounding areas were incorporated into the Aztec Empire. Then in 1531, via endless bloodshed, the Spanish conquered modern-day Mazatlán, then called Chalmelta, and established the first Spanish colony. Disease soon spread and killed as much as 90% of indigenous communities. Its seaside location made Mazatlán a key strategic port during the Mexican-American War, leading to both the United States and France invading and occupying the city. And something definitely not taught in U.S. classrooms is that the Confederacy also invaded and seized Mazatlán during the U.S. Civil War in a futile attempt to perpetuate their backwards-ass ideas. Additionally, Mazatlán played key roles in both the Mexican Revolution as well as World War II. During the latter, the people of Mazatlán denied Nazi submarines safe haven in their harbor. But don't think for a second that Mazatlán's past is all bloodshed and war. Far from it. From creating innovative water and electrical infrastructures, to being the birthplace of the Pacifico Brewing Company, to the city undergoing a cultural renaissance that redefined it as a tourism mecca we know it as today, Mazatlán has earned its nickname as the Pearl of the Pacific. And today, I'm excited to see almost none of that, as I'm going the ignorant American route by doing an all-day shore excursion. I suck. I know. For today, we booked a beach day tour with horseback ride, water sports, and city tour via TripAdvisor and operated by Mazatlán Shore Excursions. As I take you through my day, you'll see what this excursion actually included. And at the end, I'll reveal just how much I paid. And I'll let you determine whether or not I got my money's worth. As I said in the video on Cabo, which if you haven't watched that yet, it's linked above, our chariot to Mazatlán was a Discovery Princess. Unlike with Cabo, the ship can actually dock at land here. This made disembarkation smooth and super duper fast.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, how are you?
Good.
Another way that crews travel to Mazatlán differs from Cabo. The shore hours for Mazatlán were perfect, with an arrival time of 9 a.m. and departure of 6 p.m. Shuttles will usher you around the busy port to the visitor center, which leads to the larger Terminal de Cruceros de Mazatlán. I hope I'm saying all these names right, and I apologize because I'm probably not. So if you're buying souvenirs, avoid the prices inside the actual visitor center. Just go right outside to the shops and kiosks, which is what I did. Magnets, check. And it was around this time that I started getting stressed, as our excursion guide was nowhere to be found despite the scheduled pickup time. After walking around, including outside of the terminal in the hopes of finding our contact, we were informed that he was running late, picking up guests at a nearby hotel, and we were told to wait about 30 to 45 minutes until he arrived. In true Karen form, I was pissed. I was thinking that this delay would be cutting into our paid time, but as I later found out, Mazatlán Shore Excursions pads their itinerary, and this did not negatively disrupt the activities ahead in the slightest. Before long, Ricardo, our guide, arrived. We boarded the air-conditioned van, and we were off to the heart of downtown Mazatlán. The ride is a little bumpy, and you just have to trust your driver, as, at least on this route, traffic signs were next to non-existent, and lights even more scarce. The first stop was La Zuela República, across the street from Cathedral Basílica de la Inmaculada Concepción. Even I don't need translating for that one. The heart of Catholicism in Mazatlán. Construction on this Baroque Revival-style cathedral began in 1856 and was completed in 1899. Beyond its towers, octagonal dome, and iron cross, what struck me was the sheer beauty of the basilica. I've never seen a cathedral as colorful and bright as this one. To a foreigner with zero knowledge of the culture or structure itself, the green, white, and red stained glass prisms seem to celebrate Mexico as the sun beams through them, illuminating the craftsmanship and the altar. Still, we had a large book. Really? Senor Frogs again? I don't get it. What is with all the Senor Frogs in Mexico? Anyway, we still had a large bulk of the 55 minutes left on the stop, so we walked 2 blocks north to the Mercado Pino Suarez, Mazatlán. goods from souvenirs, household items, clothing, produce, and a whole lot of fish and meats, this pampered-ass, germophobic, annoying American was taken aback by the rawness of the presentation of the poultry and other dead animals. This is not in judgment of the establishment or anyone in it, more so a judgment on my bougie ass, and it illustrates how, despite my self-proclaimed student of the world persona that I pride myself on, I'm really still so sheltered in so many ways. From here, we took the side streets back around. Oh, I haven't seen a Woolworth in a hot minute. I mentioned in the Cabo vlog how I love to experience both the similarities and differences between the US and Mexico. Not only was the market a vast departure for me, but I found the much more elevated street curbs in Mazatlán to be a fun change. I surmised, and I could be totally off base here, that the sidewalks are so high in order to better protect pedestrians due to the aforementioned lack of traffic infrastructure. But on second thought, the curbs aren't that fun for an old achy man like myself. Yeah. Later replaced by the Pino Suarez market that we just came from, Plazuela Republica was once the original municipal market and the main square of the city, and it dates back to 1865. A gift from Germany, the French Gothic kiosk at the center of the plaza anchors this hub of community, art, and the annual Cry for Independence Festival held here every September 16th. Back in the van, we were driven around to the Explanada Sanchez Tobaada. Here, we witnessed perhaps the biggest tourist trap. El Clavadistas, or the divers. Like any well-seasoned street performer, the Clavaditas delay their seconds-long dive show until the crowd of gawking tourists is large enough to ensure plenty of tips are donated both before and immediately after each dive.
Three hours later.
It was cool. I sure couldn't do it myself, but my friend Jen, who grew up in Hawaii, was like, I did that every day as a kid. So, yeah. The van then took us around the waterfront, and on this route, we passed through what was described to us as kind of the arts district. It's far trendier and very expat-dominated, filled with hotels, restaurants, and nightclubs. Soon we came to this local pier, where we boarded a catamaran and were reunited with fellow Discovery Princess cruisers who had booked a similar tour via Princess Cruisers, and let me tell you, they paid a lot more than we did. Just how much did we pay, you ask? I'm not telling you just yet. I want you to keep watching. It's a quick 5 to 7 minute ride through the harbor and past our cruise ship. During the ride, we're warned about the solicitation of goods and animals we'll encounter at the next dock. Nothing dangerous, just, once they put the monkey on your shoulder, you're kind of obligated to take a picture and pay for it. Soon we arrived at Stone Island, where second host, Poncho, and a different shuttle drove us 3 minutes to Restaurante Puesta del Sol. This beautiful beachfront property was the perfect place to spend the next few hours. Included in this excursion is an open bar for the full length of time that we were here, and a pina colada was the first order of business. Lunch is also included. On the boat, we were given menus from which we could pick our individual lunches, but it wasn't time for lunch just yet. After our host set us up with our own table and beach chairs, it was time to get in the water. Since we didn't get to go to Medano Beach in Cabo the day prior, we were very much looking forward to getting into Sea of Cortez today. You don't know this about me yet, but I love marching band type music. So all the beach bands were a lot of fun to listen to periodically throughout the day. Also, here's Jen getting a massage from the self-proclaimed best monsieur in Mazatlán. Now it was time to make a big decision. I mean, not really. This excursion offers 4 activities: a banana boat ride, boogie boarding, getting on a horse-driven wagon, and horseback riding. And of these 4 options, everyone gets to pick 2 of them to do. Now, I grew up dirt poor. Wait, pina colada break. Okay, I grew up very poor, but my mother's best friend, who's like a second mother to me, Kika, volunteered at a horse stable in New Jersey when I was a kid. One of the perks she received was that she and her family could ride for free. So I was blessed enough to spend the summers of my youth riding 2 horses, Diamond and Pony. I groomed them, feed them, and was trained to ride English saddle. I fell in love with horses, so picking the horseback riding was a no-brainer for me. And at this point, I was really hoping that we'd be able to ride the horses on the beach and a little bit in the water, which is a true bucket item for me. I also picked a banana boat. Wait, pina colada break. I wasn't able to get a lot of footage at all on the banana boat because you have to hold on for dear life during this 5 to 7 minute ride out to Isla Cordona and back again. Back on the beach, a fellow passenger commented to one of the operators that she was surprised that we didn't capsize at any point. He promptly responded by flipping the banana boat over and dunking us all into the water. It was pretty funny, but we kind of all hit each other's heads on the person behind you's knee. And soon, lunch was ready. My chicken quesadillas were basic, but in that homely, great way. Delicious, filling, yet not heavy. 'Twas the perfect meal to have with my next pina colada. After some more time in the Sea of Cortez and relaxing in my beach chair, the horses were ready. Another thing that I love about Mexico, and there are many, is that it's not as uptight as life and activities are in the States. Like most touristy stables in the States, they won't let you ride helmetless and in chancletas, which are flip-flops for those who speak even less Spanish than I do, or who have never been blessed to have their Spanish friends' mothers hit them upside the head with them when they were kids. All right, anyway, I digress. Here they didn't care that I wasn't wearing closed-toe footwear, and it was the first time I'd ever ridden without a helmet. Now this was the moment I was most excited for. And while ultimately we didn't take the horses out to the beach, this 15-minute ride around the streets and in traffic was indeed short, but it was also absolutely amazing. Truly, I don't think that this video can properly convey and do justice to just how great this day in Mazatlán was. The time you've all been waiting for. How much did this all cost? For the rest of my days, or at least for the foreseeable future, whenever anyone asks me what was the best $80, essentially $79 US that I spent in my life, I'll say this. It's a complete package for $79. It's going to end up costing me about $100. I'm going to give it a $20 tip, but well worth it. You have open bar. This is my 4th pina colada, and it's better than any of the ones on the ship, plus lunch of your choosing from the menu at the amazing restaurant here. It is quite literally the best bang for your buck you could ever possibly ask for. Mazatlán Tours. I found them on TripAdvisor. Highly recommend them. Ricardo, Pancho, all our tour guides were absolutely incredible. Soon, despite not wanting this experience to end, it was time to get ready to go. The rides back were filled with slightly tired, somewhat tipsy, absolutely satisfied, thoroughly happy travelers. And before long, we were back at the terminal and boarding our ship. I was very worried coming to Mazatlán, doing a whole day tour, that I wouldn't experience any part of the actual culture or be in any part of the city and islands that were inhabited by locals, where locals thrived. I was wrong. You got to see the tourist parts and the local areas, and this was just the most exciting and relaxing and touristy and locally thing to do you could possibly do. And I'm in absolute complete heaven. Yeah, it really puts life into perspective. I feel very grateful to experience this, and not just grateful because it was a steal of a deal, but just that I'm here. My heart is so very complete when I'm not only by the water, but I'm able to ride horses and just trust the horse and the horse trusts me. And granted, it was only a 10-15 minute thing, and it wasn't on the beach, but it was through the town, but it was very well worth it, and it was beautiful. I'm very serene, very happy, and it's a feeling I'm trying to capture more of in my life. It can be difficult, but I have it pretty good. I'm very thankful. Let me drink my pina colada. Pinkies up, bitches. Yes, the excursion was still vacation touristy, but it was far more rooted in the real world than I anticipated, and I'm so very thankful that I got to see more of the true city than I originally thought that I would. Mazatlán gave the sense of a more blue-collar town, with nowhere near the upsalesmanship, even in the more popular touristy areas, than that of Cabos, and that's an authenticity that I hope will carry over to Puerto Vallarta, which is tomorrow's destination and next week's episode. For now, I wish to say thank you to this wonderful city and the amazing humans who are its lifeblood. Mazatlán. Check. Thank you for watching. Since you made it this far, I hope that you can get a good laugh out of the insanity of these AI thumbnail creation rejects. I'm told that the YouTube algorithm pushes videos with AI-generated thumbnails, hence why my thumbnails are way sexier AI versions of me. But what would truly help this channel and me is giving this video a like. Consider subscribing and hitting the bell icon so you're notified when new videos are posted. And check out some of my other videos. I thank you in advance. And as always, remember, you're not living on borrowed time. This is your time.